Okay, hi.
Hi. Sorry, Bob has decided that I've sat too long.
All right, so we haven't been here in a hot minute,
No, don't, Sammy, I need this, please. This is my notes.
and
Okay, we're
we
going
are
to.
live, but it is recording. So for those that are going to go back and review, we don't have our
Right.
logo, we don't have our backdrop. So please do not compare this to any of our other live videos that you have seen.
Right. And we're
I mean,
trying our best.
in fact, this live video is not going to be like any of the other live videos that we've been, just because we all the other ones were very structured, and although there is structure to this one, we're very cash in this one. Tonight's
Right.
topics is really just catching up to speed with how everybody's doing. If you do not know us, my name is Mocha, Queen Mocha, and that is Kim Williams,
And Bob
and
and
Bob.
Sam. And Sammy. Sorry, Bob is very needy of late. I do apologize to everyone, but he will not let me put him down.
Oh, yes, but it's fun. We like animals.
Okay.
Now,
Good
I
looking.
see we have some viewers coming in, but we are on something that I can't even see. It won't tell me. So you guys got to comment when you come in so we can see who's in. But yeah, this
Okay.
is going to be a very chill live. Some of you might know us from the Rainbow Support Group. Some of you might know us from drag from way back when. Some of you might know us from my live streams that I've been doing, or maybe some of the YouTube videos that we've been putting out on our new channel, which is Universal Energies. And I'm going to let Kim talk about how Universal Energies came to be.
Universal energies came to be during this political nightmare that we're all living through. We need to put love and light out into the world, okay? And we need to combat the ugly that is here. And how we do that is by sharing and bringing good to the world. So I know everything is scary. I apologize for my cats, they're so needy. um Everything is hard in our world, and we want everybody to have a place for comfort and support when they're scared. It's very important right now. I talked to a woman with the resistance movement today, and I talked to her about our community and that we're already high anxiety, like on the regular. Okay, the LGBT community, we're high anxiety anyway. All of this right here is very hurting and it's damaging to us. And so a lot of people are getting afraid. A lot of people don't want to go out, or they don't want to go to work, or they just are scared. Okay, that's what the Universal Energies channel is for. It's a place for you to come and get facts, for you to get calm, for you to have a place to vent your anxiety. That's what all of this is for. But what we're going to do is, we know there's negative, but the focus of this channel is the positive. Okay. So we've talked about grounding. This video here tonight is going to be long because we want to cover a lot of topics, because we know that there are a lot of issues out there. So please know we're here for you. The Universal Energies channel is going to continue to bring positive things forward. So please share this, refer to it. Once we get good, like Mocha said, we're trying this and we are pretty casual. Once we get an editor who can break these down into topics for us, that would be great. That way,
Yeah,
across the
eventually, you'll be
bottom.
able to, like our YouTube videos, eventually you'll be able to go in and it'll show you segments like intro, sponsors, first topic, second topic, third topic, and then you can pick which topic you want to see and then just skip to the good part or
Right,
which
if that's
part.
all that you wanted to listen to. Because, like this one here, it's going to be long. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, is that good enough of an explanation, Mama?
Well, that's where Universal Energies is going. I know that's going to
Okay.
confuse a lot of people. It's the rainbow isn't over. It's just something additional that we're doing. We're just bringing more stuff to the table because more stuff is happening.
And we have to avoid the censors. Okay, the rainbow support group was 2 rainbow. Okay, 2 rainbow. And that's
The
going to get us
algorithm now doesn't like rainbow at all.
right. Right. So we're going to use code words, we're going to use whatever. And yes, we still run the rainbow support group, and I just shared this video, so it's going to that room too right now. Okay? We are still the rainbow support group. However, for now until this nightmare passes, we've all got to stay down and we've got to protect ourselves. But we can't hide. Okay, we're a support group and have been for 2 decades. Okay, we're going to continue to provide support, but we're trying to be sneakier than they are. So just know that's the reason for the name change. It's not a name change, it's an additional option. There you go.
And that kind of brings us, because like I said, more things are happening. Our topic tonight is about the whole frequency shift. You know how I always talk about frequency, everything runs off of frequency. And I'm sure a lot of you that are watching right now, I see we have 7 viewers. Have you guys felt the frequency shift? Comment below, that way we can you can tell us how you're feeling. Because I know that with the politics, the news, the war, everything on the news is negative, almost 80%. Even
93%.
Yeah, like 93%. So, and maybe you guys have heard me say before, if you want more good, you got to put more good out there. And that's
Right.
what that Universal Energies page is now going to do. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk frequency. We're going to talk plants. We're going to talk yoga. We're going to talk about good stuff for your body to eat instead of the McDonald's that you've been getting. Stuff like that.
If you're not good, if you're not full of light, then it's going to impact you harder. I find when I do my blessings journal in the morning and I have my cup of coffee and I organize my thoughts and I always, be blessed for what I do have and I look at things in a positive light, then I'm stronger to deal with what I know is going to happen when I turn the TV on. Okay, because every day it's something awful. Okay, well, we have to prepare ourselves for this. Brace for impact. I've been saying that for a year. Brace for impact. Grounding, hot baths, chocolate ice cream, whatever makes you happy. Okay, my cats, as you see, we've bonded. Just remember, we have to make it through. Okay, we're going to make it through.
Oh, some of y'all are commenting. Why don't we see them? Oh.
Who's commenting where?
Hi, Amber. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Riley. I had to log in on my phone on Facebook, so I'm also watching the live from.
Okay, so where are you at? You're on your page?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi,
hang on.
Eric. I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my gosh. My phone.
Oh wow, there's a lot of comments.
Turn the volume down though. It's echoing.
Okay, is that good
Hi,
now?
Christopher.
Look, and I have no glasses. Hi, you guys. I have no glasses. You were supposed to be on this screen, Mocha.
Yeah, it says that live. Look, I even have a message to show you I'm not lying. What does that say? Live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. But there are no comments that have showed up where that is.
Nope. Nope. Show comments. Wait a minute.
Myself.
Oh, look. We're not allowed to do that because you got to pay for it. I just clicked.
Hi, Teresa.
I clicked it at the top. Hello, everyone there. I have no glasses. I cannot see. Okay, Mocha, it says at the top, it says show comments on stage.
Well,
and I went to
that's a different thing. That's automatically. That's if I wanted, like, if let's say Teresa comments and then it shows up, I have an option to put that manually on the screen, but that's saying it'll automatically do it, and we do have to pay for that. But this message is because of just the basic one that we're doing, because I have to actually click on it. So
Wait a
all these
minute.
other comments should have showed up right there, and I'm so sorry you guys' comments did not show, and we just acted like we skipped over it, but we did not see it.
We
But
did
thank
not.
you for joining. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hello. And I hope y'all are safe and happy and have spare food in your closet.
So, like we're talking about with what's happening, and you've noticed that I've been doing a lot of news broadcasting type thing. That's news that I think that we need to all be aware of. The local news isn't picking up, that maybe only global news is. In addition to that, I'm going to put out weather reports, and these weather reports are going to be kind of coded. I'm not really going to be talking about weather. I'm going to be talking in code
I need
stuff
everybody.
to know.
Wait. I need everybody to pay attention to Mocha right now. This is a new section. This is very important. This is code. This is the trick we're going to do to the algorithm. Pay attention. And I'm writing a note here because these are going to be LGBT, brown people, marginalized issues, blah, 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 all in code so we can't get caught. Okay, now go, Mocha. Everybody pay attention.
Well, I wasn't going to go right into it right then, but I guess.
Okay, in a minute we're going to. No, you can. In a minute we can. But I want everybody to pay attention.
I've kind of already scrolled up to that part, so we're going to just start that now.
Okay, very important.
Hold on. Let's see.
And I'm going to write.
Commenting.
What, honey?
I said I see you guys commenting, but.
Nope, I think the last one we got was Teresa said hi, I think. I got it here. Hi, everybody.
All right, so these coded phrases for like news, well, let's start a little bit earlier because I have some that's going to be for news and politics, but these basic ones are just going to be for like, it's a toolkit just for like meeting places, topics, check-ins, protection codes. So anytime that we talk in like the Rainbow Support Group, and we want to refer to like a meeting place, we kind of already do a lot of this already. If we say coffee and rainbows, that's going to be an entire support group meetup.
Right. That's going to be we're going to meet together, and then you guys, we're going to give you contact things like the rsgsc@gmail.com. If you hear Mocha come on and say, what's the code word, Mocha? Coffee and rainbows.
Like we used to go to Starbucks. That's kind of what we did in the past. So we weren't just going to meet for coffee, but it was just a coffee day. And then that's how we talked about recent events. And we wanted you guys to tell us how your week had been. We do picnics in the park. That's the same thing. Now that's also going to tie into when we have like grounding moments and stuff like that, but it's all support. If we ever talk about
wait a minute, all of the events outside, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm super nervous and I'm security for the LGBT. Anything that we're doing outside will be done in code. Okay, I am not going to call a bunch of LGBT together like we used to and post on Facebook and say, come join us at that bowling alley or whatever. No, there's people that want to hurt us now. So what we're going to do is if we say that there's a rainbow coffee, okay, then that's your call to action to email us at the rsgsc@gmail.com and say, okay, I heard there's a meetup. Where's it at? Because we're only going to disclose it to each other. That way we're safe and secure. Okay, that's my part. I'm done.
And we never used to, we would always post like come to the bowling alley, but remember, we never posted addresses ever. So that kind of confidentiality is still going to stick around. If we ever talk about like story time, that's going to be like an online Zoom meeting call that we need to like all get on a voice call. and talk about something that is very important. That's going to be like an emergency situation. We haven't actually had to do that at all. I hope we don't ever have to.
Right, but that's a key one. You need to pay attention to that.
If I ever post like story time at 3 o'clock, you need to get on a call with us at 3 o'clock.
You need, right, because something's happening. And right now, it isn't the normal world we were used to. It's not. So these things of call to action and how to contact us if we don't have access through the computer, if we don't have access to whatever. And remember, on our Rainbow Support Group page, my telephone number is on there. Okay, my personal telephone number. So if you're in crisis or something's happening at your end of the world, like if ICE shows up at your end, you could do a call out and say, whatever you just said, Mocha, the emergency one. What's the emergency
story
one?
Time.
Story time. You could call out and say story time, and then everybody can jump on or find you or what, you know what I'm saying? We got to get a system to this. But yes, that's what that's for. Okay.
And now for like topics, we said weather report. Anytime I do that, that's going to be like urgent news. It's not actually going to be a weather report. I'm not going to say, "Hey, it's going to rain today." No, I don't. I'm not actually saying it's going to rain today, because if it's sunny, then y'all are going to come at me like, "Oh, you lied."
But we got to be smarter than the computers.
Right, the algorithm right now, and especially YouTube, because we're trying to branch out to YouTube. And we just found out that YouTube signed a $40+ million deal with Israel to push their propaganda. And so we're not going to be able to get on our channel and say, "Oh, we don't like this," because they're not going to push it out to anybody unless
and not only won't they push it out, but they're going to ban it.
Exactly.
And I'm not down for that. I'm an American and I have the right to speak. Apparently we live in an authoritarian place right now where you're not allowed to speak. So we're going to speak and we're going to do it around them. Okay. Everybody deserves love and support and compassion and understanding. And we are going to continue to do that.
Right. Hi, okay. Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Some of the alert codes that we'll use, like for storm warning, that's like, we're going to have haters. We're going to have protesters. If we do umbrellas up, everyone needs to start protecting their peace. That can be a broad spectrum of anything. That means that maybe some of the news headlines you're about to see is going to rattle your brain a bit. Closed cafe, that's like we need to stop engaging publicly. We need to move privately. So we're going to close the cafe. That means we need to change where we're at, go somewhere different. Extra sprinkles, sarcasm, or code switching might be needed. That's just to add a little bit of flavor. For the universal energy part, like if you ever see us post, when we talk about circle of light a lot, that's just us having a gathering like we're doing now. We're just talking. Circle of light means we're coming together to give you more positive energy. Let's see, energy flow, that's going to go along with mental health, emotional state. When we talk about dream weaving, that's really like future goals and manifestation. I know a lot of you don't believe in manifestation, but that's going to be a big topic that Universal Energies is going to talk about. We've talked about sacred fire. That's difficult but important topics. Like sacred fire is to hold that, because what we're talking about is very sensitive. So you need to keep that fire going, but also maintain control over it. You know, we've talked about grounding stones. That's also code for just safe self-care practices. So it's like a twofer. Now, as far as alerts go on the universal energies, you know, we actually haven't had too much negative feedback, which is weird, because if you take both pages that we've started, the Rainbow Support Group page and the Universal Energies page, within the first few weeks of that Rainbow page being up, we had already faced haters. And the Universal Energies page has been up for what, a month, 2 months now. And I mean, the YouTube is. I just made the Facebook, and we haven't had any negative, which is good, and then we want to keep that. Let's see.
Now, just a comment about the haters, since this is like an intro long video. They're gonna come, okay, and that's what we're gonna teach you too. For those that don't know exactly what's going on, we're gonna give you the 30,000-foot view of what is going on, not just each individual thing, but like why it's happening. We need to make sure that we're protected. We need to make sure that we're together. I forgot what I was talking about. This is so serious stuff that I'm not
view
of making sure that we understand what's going on instead of saying things like, but that's mean to do that to me. Okay, like I'll use me as an example. I am a 61-year-old woman with a disability who is just about to get some Social Security. They don't want me on the system. So what have they done? They've taken away healthcare. They've taken away food stamps. They've taken away more hospitals. They're trying to make it harder to be alive, to cull the population, to only have the strongest survive. So I've been telling everybody for months on end, make sure you got some spare food. Make sure you're staying well. Make sure you're washing your hands, because things are coming and you need to be prepared. Okay, very scary topic. Very scary to hear, especially in our world of everything's okay. Okay, we're here to tell you guys now it is not okay. And to the level of it is so not okay that we've started another channel. Okay, because it's so not okay. If it was okay, we would just be doing the other channel. Right. Okay, we're trying to get away from that channel a little bit. Like we're still there. Okay, but distance. So when the algorithm comes and they destroy it, okay, we're still standing. Okay, because we're going to provide support through this whole thing, and we want you guys to know that. Like, I know it sounds gross, but understand that we love all of you, and we are willing to take a bullet. We are willing to go into the mob. We are willing. Okay, that's what we're doing, and we know what we're doing, and we're doing it with intent to keep everybody safe and calm through this process.
And this code will come in very handy when we talk about protest, because you have to speak in code for protest, because you can't just, we've had protests that we can't even post flyers for just because of the amount of negative publicity that it would get, and then that would draw more haters out to block the protest. So when we speak in code, that could also be about future resistance motions that we need help with. We actually need help with a few coming up that we'll be posting about. So make sure you go through and you listen to our code, and then you can try to decipher what we're actually talking about. And then if there's ever a question, you are more than welcome. Sorry, there's a mosquito or a gnat. You can message us and talk about, hey, I know that you made a status. Could you clarify? And then we could definitely tell you exactly what we're talking about.
Right. Because we're going to have to talk in code now. In order to keep us all safe. That's just the way it's got to be. So I need you to understand what we're talking about with these phrases. Now, don't think I didn't write them all down and I might not listen to this whole thing. Okay, well, we're going to go through and we're going to post these, okay, for you to get. And Mocha, we need to think about a newsletter, some way to get to people if the whole thing shuts down. You know what I mean?
Remember, we asked for emails before and we had an email list, but I wish people would go back to using emails.
Well, we're going to have to. We're going to have to, because there's no way to contact people.
Right.
Okay. And
even then we're going to need something more. I hate asking for people's address, but maybe like a PO box or a mailing address too, because if the grid goes down, we're not even going to be able to do anything like email. And, Trump has talked about the grid going down. So if he talks about it, that's something he's heard or he's putting into motion. So we also need to be prepared. Um, like my weather report this week is going to say it's been a mix of storm clouds and rainbows. There's been heaviness with news, but also joy in seeing our community come together. See how that's kind of coded, but still uplifting and not exactly, Trump did this, because they'll flag it if I don't speak like that.
They will. And if you use the word Gaza, okay, you're not allowed to say Gaza, but I'm allowed to say humanitarian. We don't kill children and people. Okay,
Back when I was posting about the Epstein thing, I would get 60,000 views on something about Jeff Bezos because his name wasn't flagged by the algorithm. But my post about Epstein would get 10, 15 views.
Right. So they're doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can go right now and look at my Jeff Bezos post on TikTok, over 60,000 views. And then scroll up and anything about Epstein, not any more than 200 views.
Yeah, but there's a whole lot more to that Epstein shit. Like, will we ever see it all? No. There's the government is in Epstein. Okay, like everybody's like, Trump's in there. Yeah, that's probably how he got where he is. Okay, no, this whole cabal.
He's not an FBI agent. I know he's trying to tell people he was an undercover FBI agent.
No.
The pictures of him kissing the little girls proves that he's not working for the FBI. Like, that is just crazy.
No, and one of the undercover people said yesterday, she said, y'all, if he was an FBI guy, he would have never gotten rid of Epstein. He wouldn't have kicked Epstein out of his club because you want to keep an eye on him. Okay, if you're an informant, you want to keep an eye on him. You're not going to kick him out. And remember, the only reason why he kicked him out is because he stole his girl. Does nobody, like, is anybody paying attention?
So let's get into it. So the frequency shift starts with stuff like that, like Epstein, all of that we're seeing, that does stuff to our frequency. It's what happens when the world around us changes in big ways. So that was something that you can definitely agree on, is change the world in a big way. It could be laws, politics, social energy, and our spirits have to adjust. Right now, we're in one of those shifts. And it could feel like an earthquake or a storm front when bombarded by headlines, heavy energy. But tonight, we're going to talk about what that means for you and how we can choose to respond to that. Now, we've talked about the coded phrases, but Kim, what's some examples of a current shift in politics or news that we can talk about without triggering the algorithm? Besides, like, I mean, I'm sure we just said Epstein's name. I don't know how many times.
See, right. Okay, but like this new one that's got people upset is the okay, hang on. How would I say it?
Hi, Troy.
The gun issues with a section of our community. Okay, the gun issues with a section of our community dealing with mental health strength. Okay, yes. I hope you can catch what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. You should be able to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, well, that right there hasn't happened yet. And not only that, it's already been determined that that section of our population is not a mental health issue.
Right. Like, it's already been proven scientifically.
Right. It's not. So all this shit they're doing that's illegal, all this shit. Okay. From the spirit side, I'm here to tell y'all it's going to be okay. Yes, it's bad right now. We're going to make it through to the other side, but it will be different. Okay. It's going to be different on the other side.
Like, it's storming right now, but what happens after the storm? A rainbow.
Right. And we're going to be okay. I need everybody to spread love and light, especially when you're afraid. When you're afraid, say, Dear universe, please bless those scary people. Please let them learn. Please help them to see the light. Okay, don't be angry, because just like Mocha said, okay, anger breeds anger.
And anger is going
Love,
to drop your frequency.
right? And love extends your frequency, and then the ripple effects keep going. So if you do your blessing journal and you find that you're in a good space, you're going to go out into the world and you're going to smile at somebody and they're going to smile back. It's a thing. Okay.
Like
And
I
you're
said,
like,
if you want more good, you got to put more good out there. All ties
absolutely.
together like a spider web.
And it's very simple nowadays, though. I mean, people are just so weird right now. And I'm a DoorDash driver, so I don't have a lot of interaction with people on the whole. But when I hold the door for somebody, or I smile at them, or look them in the eye, I see them change. Like, they're like, wow, you really, I guess it's weird now. People aren't being nice now. Okay. So I mean, I giggle when I get back into my car going, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Okay. I'm supposed to smile at you.
I feel
I
like
was supposed to.
everything around us is just so heavy that
Right.
it goes through that filter, and we have to take a step back and look, go back to our circle of control and choose how we respond to any situation. So if somebody
And it's
does
really
cut you
hard.
off in traffic, do you look at it as, maybe I shouldn't be going as fast anyway? Maybe the universe is keeping me out of danger that's coming up from above. Or do you get mad, step on the gas, speed around them, flick them off, swerve into somebody else? You see how it's a chain reaction, and you can choose how that chain reaction goes. Maybe not what happens, but you can choose whether it goes down the negative path or the positive path. Now, that kind of ties in, because the next topic was in how the frequency, when we get heavy news, heavy politics, heavy bad energy, the emotional toll that we feel from that,
Yes.
fear, anxiety, burnout, all that comes with just making those negative choices. It is hard. I mean, Kim and I, we look different. Go back and look at those other live videos. You can tell we have been through life. But we're still positive.
I do like it though. So I was delivering to a business in a factory thing. So of course I'm not looking for anybody at all, right? And I'm just driving.
Hey
Um,
Lee says, hey
all
Bob.
this you want to come get him? The yeah, I get a message on Messenger and I look down and it's like, I just saw you. You were at my job. And I'm like, are you kidding? And I'm like, oh, well, hi, I hope you're doing well. And he's like, I am. I'm like, well, good. Well, I hope to see you soon or whatever. But what's so funny is I look so different from what I used to look like. I'm 300 pounds now. My hair is totally like white. I look like Mocha said, like I've had a life. But I think it's cool that he still recognized me.
And I mean, I think it's cool. Well, I said nothing is a coincidence. So I don't think it was just a coincidence that you happened to be that person. I think it was meant to be. Just that little
Isn't
brief
that wild?
interaction. I
Right? That was
know.
so
I think
weird.
it happens like that.
Well,
And
good. Well,
so
good. I hope he keeps up.
then, and from that moment, maybe they looked at things maybe they thought about how positive you were, and they went on approaching their life in a more positive manner than
And
had
I
they.
did as well. And I did as well. Like I continued to smile down the road and, yeah. So, yeah. And it's all about that right now, y'all. And I know that everything is so big, but Mocha and I are going to continue to come back to this point over and over and over again. And in the videos that we did on YouTube and all of that, we keep talking about you got to stay positive. You got to stay positive and you got to find something that makes you happy. And you have total permission to turn the news off. Okay, I can tell you that more shit's going to happen tomorrow and then the next day and then the next day. So when I go to the TV, I don't say, I wonder if something happened. No, I go to the thing and I say, I wonder what he did now.
Mhm.
Okay,
Like
because
you guys that are watching, what's happening and what's hard that you've been like dealing with that's really trying to lower your frequency. Comment and let us know what's dealing. Like with us, like we're talking about, it's news, it's politics, it's our health. Everything weighs a toll, and that is our battle every day. But we get through it.
Yes, and you will get through it. And I know, especially to that section, that subsect of the LGBT, okay, the end part. Ooh, life must be very difficult right now. And just know that we understand that and we're here for you. Try to stay as positive as you can in everything that you're doing. This will pass. Just stay safe until it does.
One of my examples was the crosswalk incident that's happening in Pulse, where they have money to have people 24/7 watching them at first, and then they just decided to pay a whole crew in to come in and remove the stones. Such a negative thing. But did you see how many people showed up and showed out for them? And then the other states that are now putting rainbow crosswalks in their state in solidarity support of us. So, like, yeah, that one bad thing, it was very bad, but look how much light came from it.
Right. And we want to say that there's a lot of people out there. I talked to the resistance people today, by the way. If you're in the upstate, resistanceupstatesc.org. Okay. I talked to them today. They are way LGBT up in there. Okay. Not all of them. Not all of them. It's a nonpartisan group. They have 3 things in their mission. They're nonpartisan, they fight for democracy, and no violence. That's it. Those 3 things. And they've got, like, their social media part of that is run by a company, not a company, a group of people. Wells is their name. Not name like a name, like the business name, Wells. And that is an LGBT organization. So just know they are aware of us. They love us. We're good. We're good. We're good. We just
and how many times have you heard us say strength is in numbers? Well, this moment when we say strength in numbers matters more now than any other time we've said it before. And so if you want change, if you want better news headlines, you need to get off the couch and help make that change happen. I know everybody is working a lot of shifts, and it is going to get much harder, but we have to unite and stand against everything that's happening.
And we have ways to do that, which we'll talk about later. About the phone call that I had with her today. There is lots of things that we can do on the down low. I told her, I don't want my people going to a protest right now. Okay, now me and Mocha are going, but we're not in danger. Okay, now our health is, like, we're going to have to take a wheelchair and canes, and we're going to have to figure out how to do that part. But
we like to play chess. We like to think 3 steps ahead, and we know that not everybody does that the same way.
Right.
So we cannot ask you to do something if, we don't feel comfortable yet doing it. And I mean, the protests that I've been to, I do not feel comfortable being there, but I know I need to be there.
Right.
And if you really can, we definitely want you to be there, but we're not going to encourage that.
Right. Like, I'm not going to tell you to go. I'm not going to tell you to go. If you
hold a bad feeling if you don't go, I'm not going to be mad at you like that.
Right. Black, brown, LGBT, I guess. I mean, I don't know. How would you clock a... I mean,
every marginalized community needs to come together.
Secretly. Mm-hmm. Like what we're doing. Okay, like, yeah, we're going to meet up.
Like right now, they're scapegoating to cull the herd. We don't want to cull the herd in the direction that they want it to go. We need to cull the herd on the outskirts and then prepare for the ambush, in a sense.
Kind of, isn't that gross? But yeah, awful shit. Awful shit. Yeah, we're here. How horrible. Yeah, y'all, hang on. Hang on. Wash your hands. Don't kiss a stranger.
also goes back to, we've also showed you kind of ways of how we cope with it. You know, we've talked about the grounding stones. Kim has a journal
Hi,
on
Laura.
Amazon, that we need you to be a part. Like, if you want to start doing a journal that we've talked about, Kim sells a journal on Amazon that you can help and get one and start it. Meditation, music, anything like that we've talked about. Good way to ground yourself to prepare you for these type of events.
And I'm not kidding. This isn't my journal, but this is a journal. But I want you to know I'm not kidding. Oh, can you see it all? Okay. Every day I write in here. Every day. It's pages and pages and pages. And I do it every morning about my blessings. And I have three things. Blessings. What are you blessed with? What are you happy with? Okay. Next section. Plus and a minus. Yesterday. What did you do you were supposed to do? Excuse me. And what didn't you do that you think you should have done? Okay. There. And then the last thing is your feelings in the moment. Are you anxious? Are you hopeful? What do you think in that moment? And set your day up. Now you're blessed. You know what you did yesterday. You kind of judged, like, well, I should have done that better yesterday. Okay, that's something you can work on today.
And
And
that
remember this.
ties into your frequency. So you can see what you can have a documentation of what you can see that goes through. So this day I was having a bad day, and then you can see how your frequency dropped, and then you see how it kind of affected the next day. Or the same thing with a positive thing. One of my gurus that I listen to on TikTok and YouTube says the number one way to raise your frequency is gratitude. That's the number one way to raise it the highest, the fastest. Gratitude. And what Kim just said with the journal, I do that with mine. I write down 8 things that I am grateful for every day. And just doing that raises my vibration because I take into account the things that I'm dealing with and I'm thankful for. And then that prepares me for the next day because I go to sleep grateful.
Now, Mocha is a badass, though. Okay, y'all. You don't have to start with 8. Okay, even though I just want to put that out there to you guys. Okay, what you're going to find, though, I'm proud of Mocha. You saw me smile. The reason why I'm proud of Mocha is like that's her personal journal. This is my personal journal. We don't discuss these things. Okay, that's personal. To know that she has a list of 8 is wonderful because you only need to start with 1 or 2. But when you get into doing it every day, and I've done it for almost a year now, you'll be amazed at how much shit you have to be thankful for. Like, if you stop and think about it, like even on your worst day, soft toilet paper. Isn't that great? Like not crunchy toilet paper, but nice soft toilet paper. Okay, so even if your day is shit and you have, get it, day is shit, and you have soft toilet paper, you're blessed. Okay, I start writing, and I actually now I have to say, okay, Kim, the universe knows you're thankful. Like I thank you for my cats, thank you for my plants, thank you for my carpet, thank you for my soft pillow, thank you for my freaking toothbrush, thank you for a million things. So there is something wonderful in every day. You just need to see it. And I need all of our people to know that no matter how scared you are, or how awful things are, or if you get evicted, or you don't have food, I understand. Okay, I got you. And that woman was going to send me a list too of resources for the LGBT. So I'm going to have that too. We need to be thankful for what we do have. Okay, like. And once you start doing that, you're going to end up with a list like Mocha and me, where it's going to be 8 and 9 and 10 and 20 things, even though, like, I'm not going to tell you all a Mocha story, but Mocha has a lot of bad shit going on right now. So for her to have a list of 8, knowing what's going on in her life, I'm very proud of her, okay? Because she could be in the bed just depressed and sad. Okay, she's not. She's finding things to be happy about and she's continuing forward. I'm very proud of anybody who is continuing to go forward in this nightmare. It is horrible right now and it's going to get worse. So, everybody, hang on.
And when the shift changes, like when the frequency shift gets bad, that we have to remember that we can shift it too. We have just as much control over the frequency as the people that are trying to damage our frequency. Sometimes action looks like a thunder roll, marches, rallies, speaking out. But sometimes it's garden roots, small steps like self care, writing, calling representatives, or checking in on a friend. It starts small, but that all helps raise your frequency.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
one action that you can take this week to keep your lantern lit? Drop some ideas in the comments. Even though we won't be live, we still always go back and review. So even if you're watching those right now, I know we only have 2 viewers, but even if you're watching and we're not live anymore, still drop comments and we'll go back and we can still comment to you and share because we will review all the comments.
And then remember, if you have a private thing that you want to talk about with us, you can contact us through the email right now of the rsgsc@gmail.com. If there's something personal or private you want to talk about, that's the safe way to do that. Unless you want to post in the room or Rainbow or wherever, you go right ahead. Okay, but if you want a private, go through the email.
And what's some things that you would like us to bring up, whether it's now, because we actually have a much broader spectrum of topics that we can discuss. So maybe topics that you asked us before in the past, we can now talk about. Whether it be because now before we didn't even talk politics, but now we kind of have to. But it's from a standpoint of not one side or the other. Whenever you hear us talk about
we have to talk about politics for safety at this point. Okay, so we have to.
It's not trying to get you to go from Republican to Democrat or this, that, and the other. Because I mean, I'm neither one. I'm
a humanitarian.
Right from the outside.
I'm a humanitarian. Okay.
And when we post stuff, you need to keep that because we don't have any bias behind it. And the same thing that goes for you. We don't want you to have to put any like bias because you know how we feel. So when there's no filter when it comes to you messaging us and you wanting us to bring up topics that are laying heavy on your frequency, if that makes sense. Because I know sometimes you like hearing me and Kim talk, but sometimes we like talking about things that you want to talk about, not just because we feel like we've been talking for this for 2 decades.
Right. And we need to know too, like I know what I know. Like I got a paper right here. Bob is not helping me with this, but see this right here? This is the beginning of me thinking about how to talk to you guys about everything that me and Mocha have been watching for 2 years plus some. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like we predicted this way a long time ago. Okay. And everybody thought we were crazy. Okay. And no, we weren't. We were just intuitive. That's all. But we didn't know that that's what that was. We too thought we were crazy because it was really weird to hear that. But here we are, exactly where we said we'd be. So I'm not going to doubt us anymore. We already do know. But I do know, as you'll notice on this paper, there's a line down the middle. The reason for the line, and we'll get into this later, but just to touch on this, the population is being told one thing. But that one thing could be handled a different way. So then looking at it from that 3,000-foot view, so why are they doing that? Okay, to each one of these, and I've got 14 of them on that page, I can show you what they're saying, what the problem is they say they're fixing, and how we would actually fix it if fixing it was the issue. And then you say, but Kim, if fixing it wasn't the issue, what's the issue? And that's where we're going to take you up to that 3,000 foot. And it's ugly, but everybody needs to know we're all in trouble. Okay.
What would you say? I think that kind of coincides. One of my deep dive topics is what's the difference between love frequency and fear frequency. I feel like that's what you're talking about, because they're using fear frequency to try to
manipulate your brain. Right, to totally manipulate your brain, because we behave in that fight, flight, or freeze thing when we get afraid. And they know that. This is like a psyop. This is like they know psychologically what they're doing. Okay. And they're trying to scare us, to freak us out, to shit like that. But we don't need to be. Okay. Right now, we don't need to be. If you'll notice, they're going into cities. They're doing whatever. But then they have to leave, or they have to pick up trash. Okay, so no, we don't have them bombing cities yet. And apparently people are stepping in now saying, y'all can't do that. Okay, we can't turn the military on our own citizens. Now they want to, but people are like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And a big point that needs to be made, they said that wouldn't work in the United States anyway, because there's too many people with guns. So you don't want to mess with it. And they're like, yeah, but they're going to take over the world. They're going to take. No, they're not. The United States is huge. Okay. They couldn't even do it with Germany. And remember, Germany's just a little bubble in the middle of that map. Okay. The United States is that freaking big. Okay, we got millions of people here. Okay, no. This won't last too much longer.
And I'm sure they've also picked up on how politics, war, climate events also mirror this frequency shift. When we go through something, the world does too, good and bad, but also vice versa. Have you guys noticed the Earth seems to be doing quite well, and seems to be doing much better the more people that are doing better? Now, yes, there is bad stuff happening, but look at the, like, down the street 2 years ago, trees were suffering bad, not growing back. I couldn't grow anything in the garden. Advanced to now to present, flourishing.
Yes.
Like, we actually now have tomato plants on our actual tomatoes on our tomato plants, and we struggled for that for the longest time.
I had to tell somebody, I was getting my brakes fixed the other day, and I was saying this example about Mother Nature's doing great. I mean, she's cranking, she's doing the volcanoes and the earthquakes, and she's doing her thing, but she's doing beautiful. And I reached out across the thing and I said, Adam, do you see how green that grass is? And he looked, and he stopped to look because he really hadn't noticed. I'm like, no, it's really weird. Like, these trees are really fat, and every tree is happy. And I told Mocha, I said, okay, Mocha, if I run out of food and I get evicted, I'm going to live with the trees, because they seem to be doing just fine.
Yep. And we've talked about the trees before. When we go on hiking, did you guys not feel so I mean, yes, we went hiking, so there was energy drain, but being out in nature, didn't that give you some kind of sense of energy that was flowing through you? Trees can give you energy, and we are going to learn more about that as we go along. But we want you guys to not look at it as, oh, they're just hippies, they like to go hug trees. We do, yes, and yes, but we do it because we have discovered the science behind it, and there is scientific proof that trees can alter your aura. You can boost in your frequency, your aura, just by simply being in nature.
Or your living room. You can have trees. Look, I'm looking up at my trees. Yes.
Jacob's plant has a tea. Is it a money tree? There's something
Ooh,
else. It's like a palooza plant that was on Google. I don't know what the name is, but we call it a money tree. And it was this small when he got it, and now it's taller than me. And I'm 5'9", and I would say it's a good maybe 6 foot tall, maybe
nice.
maybe halfway. But
Nice. Grow a plant, y'all. Grow a plant. I'm telling you. And right now, Mother Nature wants you to, because apparently my living room's blowing up. Her living room's blowing up. And really look outside, y'all. Fall's coming. The leaves are going to fall. It's going to be beautiful. However, look at it now. It's amazing. And the sunsets have been breathtaking. So,
and
yes,
you
the
guys that
humans
are
are
watching
helping.
this that might be new, and you don't believe me about frequency, scientifically, I want you to look up something called the Schumann resonance scale. That will show you 24-hour coverage of the Earth's natural frequency.
Which is wild.
And it's been boosting, like it's been bumping for the past few months. And we've seen complete whiteouts, they call it, to where we've had a massive spike of raised consciousness. And with that, the world is mirroring that effect. So the more people that wake up, the more people that gain more consciousness, that boosts our frequency and everything gets elevated.
And we want everyone to join the light. We need everyone to focus on the positives in the world and focus on what we can do. Like, we can't do a whole lot, but we can smile at people. We can help an old lady down the stairs. We can call somebody who might need a phone call. We can, somebody need a ride somewhere, give them a ride. If we can, I mean, we gotta turn
All
every
come together for a collective healing. We have to
right.
collectively heal each other.
Positive,
The
like
earth as well.
totally positive. Right. No negative, no negative. And yes, we have to talk about bad stuff. But what we need to do is like I did on my paper. Okay, this is what they're saying, and it freaks me out. But what are they really trying to do? And what do I need to look at on this? Okay, the National Guard and all that, don't do anything illegal first. Make sure you're okay. And if you're not documented or you have an issue that they're looking for, stay out of the way. Okay. Other than that,
the National Guard is coming to South Carolina.
yeah,
It's going to Chicago. It's going to South Carolina. He's trying to send them out everywhere. But
yeah, but I think Chicago's got some pushback now. He lined up.
I saw that.
Well, he lined up all his.
Remember back when I used to tell you that I had a student. I'm not really like a student, but I was also a student in college. It was a classmate. We weren't friends, but it was a classmate. And he came from Chicago, and he survived 2 bullet holes from 2 separate events, from 2 different gang wars going on, some gang incident. He found himself in the line of a bullet twice and survived. He said that Chicago is run by the gangs. So not only is the governor lining up those salt trucks, but the gangs in Chicago are also going to be aiming at the National Guard. So,
but my point to the whole thing is all of that, right? All of that you're talking about is true and ugly and nasty. However, my point is this, and where I need everybody to take a breath. So, like Mocha said, there is crime there. Okay. We don't need a temporary bully force to go into a city. And remember, when they go in, all the crime's going to stop because they're there. Okay. But then they're going to leave in 29 days. Okay. So they're going to leave. Then it's going to come back. Then you've solved nothing but spent all that money. My point is, dear Republicans, y'all are assholes. Why didn't you just give more money to the police department? Why didn't you put more services available for that community? You've done nothing but scare people and make a mess and spend a buttload of money. Okay, that's the point we need to be talking to these people about. When you see an ICE agent or you see the, say money could have been well spent. Like if you call your representative, it should be, why isn't money being better spent? That's the question. This is crazy. This is temporary wasted money. That's all I've seen since they've taken office. I'm disgusted about the amount of money that is just being wasted. As you say, we have no money, but you're spending billions and billions of dollars on nothing. On nothing. We need positive vibes. We need to keep the focus on this is sad. See how we turned that? So it was scary and yucky, and we turned the emotion into a sad, into a reflectiveness. Yes, that's happening. Yes, that's scary, but I'm not stuck in the scary. I'm like, okay, how could this have been done better? Okay, now I need to find somebody in charge and say, excuse me, why isn't this being done better? Like Doge pisses me off. Okay, they blew all kinds of money, not to mention the data ripoff, but all kinds of money. And they said they were saving money. No, they ended up costing us billions of dollars. Okay, that's what's driving me crazy now. So now I'm trying to turn it into, okay, then I have to have a plan. When I talk to them, I need to say, no, this needed to be done better. The frequency, we got to change our frequencies.
It's more like the trauma, the shared trauma that we see from these incidents. We need to turn into shared strength. And that's the hard part. Because right now, nobody wants to do anything other than just turn it off.
Right.
But that's the difference between letting go versus giving up. There's an important difference between letting go and giving up.
Good. Yes, I totally agree with that 100%. And we can't give up. Okay, what did Tugman say? You got to go through. We got to go through. Okay, we just got to go through. I know it's hard and it's awful and it's terrible. It's just like having a baby. Okay, you can't like halfway through having a baby say, nope, I don't want to. Okay, you got to. Okay, but I don't want to. I don't want to. And I remember saying, but I don't want to. Well, you got to, and it's going to happen anyway. So hang on, because here we go. Same thing we're doing right now. Okay,
we have to anchor each other when we have these times of uncertainty, because when we don't know what direction we're heading, we can always anchor ourselves with each other. And then the stress goes away. And that kind of helps us release control. Remember the circle of control? That kind of helps.
And you don't feel so isolated and alone. Okay, a lot of this is scary, and you're watching it on the news, and you're in your living room by yourself, and you're like, oh my God. Okay, having community, being together, talking about things, it actually makes it feel better. Now, me and Mocha, we were talking the other day, and it's kind of funny because I said, we can't talk about this stuff online. I said, we would freak everybody out. Me and Mocha, we talk about ugly shit. Okay, we talk about big, ugly, horrible shit. Awful. And you know what? We're okay with it. Now, is it awful? Yeah. Does it put me in the bed? No, because I have somebody to talk to about it. Okay, me and Mocha are on the same level of knowledge. So things she tells me does not scare me. Things I tell her doesn't scare her. So we can talk freely about it. That's what we want you guys to do. We're going to bring you guys up to date. Do you have questions on the politics? Do you have questions on something that happened? Do you have a very strong opinion, kind of leaning to the right on something, and you want a discussion? Totally down for it. Okay, let's alleviate the negative frequency and bring in a positive, forward-looking frequency to help everyone. Remember, the more love and light there is, the more love and light there will be. We have to shift the negativity of the world. And there's so many. Don't think it's just me and Mocha. Okay, there are so many spirit guides and so many readers and so many people that are literally pushing this worldwide. I want you to know that the world is rooting for us. Even though, and they apologize online. They're like, Canada was like, we're sorry, you guys. We're going to try to keep it to the red states. We're sorry. We know this wasn't y'all. But they have to take care of themselves. Each country has to take care of themselves. And right now they are against the United States, which is awful. However, okay, here we are. But just know that they love us a lot. Okay, they love us a lot. They think this is the most awful thing that could happen to America. And they're literally on our side. Literally. So don't think you're alone. Don't think you're alone. Please. No, the world is with us. Oh, it's so hot, Mocha. It's because of Bob. Like, I have the air conditioning on. He's so hot.
I'm looking through. I've kind of just jotted down some extra topics that we can dive into.
Okay. Because now we finished our first hour, so now we're on our second one.
One of them is shadow work and healing the inner child. That's a very deep dive. Facing what we've buried to grow stronger. And that kind of dives into what we've talked about, kind of like what we've been through. If we hadn't gone through that, we wouldn't have learned from that to be where we are now.
Now that's a hard pill to swallow for people, though.
But it's only a hard pill for those people that are stuck in the same way that they have been. The universe gives us lessons, and if you don't learn, it'll give us that same lesson again until we learn from it. The people that have a hard pill to swallow are still on that lesson number 2, still facing the same loop. And we know people personally that are still on that path that still haven't changed because they haven't woken up yet. But
we need everybody to wake up.
Yeah, the more people that we can wake up, the more consciousness that we can raise, the more frequency, the better everybody will feel.
The whole world will feel better.
Back when they had the World Meditation Day, the numbers were staggering. And then they said the Schumann resonance scale, another whiteout. I wish I could go in more depth. I'm learning about the human resonance scale, but when they have these whiteouts, they say it's a staggering amount of consciousness that has been uplifted. That's what we need. A lot of people, especially in our community that we know, don't even believe in yoga, meditation, grounding. Everything that we talk about, you're already going to turn off because you don't believe in it. But that could be your problem. That could be why you're feeling the way you do, the why you don't want to get out of bed, the why you don't have any energy, why you're feeling depressed. Could be because you're not on that path and something needs to change. And we're just offering you ways that we feel better. And like we've always said, we're not doctors, but we can definitely be your spiritual guides. We can definitely help you walk down that spiritual path. It all goes back to mental clarity, your mental health, you putting you number 1, not in a selfish sense, just as a moral support system for yourself, that you need to go and put your mental health forward. Don't go out and do stuff for people if you do not feel well to do so.
Right, because then they're not helping.
You're right.
And sometimes we have to love ourselves first. And I know me and Mocha, we bad at it. We could be feeling like pure shit, but if somebody calls and needs something, we're going to be there for them. Okay, well, let me tell you, after a while, that wears on you. Okay, because everybody needs to be loved. So It's nice that you want to love and help people, but make sure that you're loving you. Make sure that you're getting the love you need, like
If you're not,
calmness,
you're not going to manifest anything. Because if you
right?
want those manifestations you're asking the universe for, the universe is not going to give it to you if you're not doing the best for yourself in that moment.
That's right.
If you're just
And then you,
asking for stuff, you have to also give out some good vibes, like we've talked about, in order to receive some good. Same thing with the universe. The universe isn't going to give you what you want if you're not going to put any work to get it.
right? And they even say that in the Bible somewhere, or God only helps those who help themselves.
Exactly.
You got to do it for, you got to put your foot forward. Now, remember, I understand anxiety and mental health issues and whatever. I'm not saying you got to do 100 push-ups today. Okay. If you
But you do
could
got to get
just,
out of bed.
but maybe not. Maybe you just need to take a moment and write down, put a pad of paper by your bed. And when you wake up, write down one thing you're thankful for. And don't wait. Don't, you can go pee. You can get up and go pee and then write your journal. But don't wait till like noon. Do it when you first wake up. Just write down, or say to yourself if you don't want to write it down. What are you thankful for in this moment when you woke up? Just one thing. And that will help you. And then tomorrow, try to think of two things. Okay, I'm not expecting you to be miraculously better. Okay, things don't work like that. What I'm saying is make sure you're staying positive. Like Mocha said, make sure you're taking care of you. Things are bad. We're here to validate and verify with you guys that it is, in fact, bad. It is going to get worse. I know that it's scary. It's scary for us. Okay, that's why we're doing this. We want to help everybody get through this time, and we have to build community. Only together can we change the world. We have to do this together, even with our differences. Like, what have I learned in the last year? Like, I've been really focusing on myself and my judgmentalness. Ooh, I didn't realize I judged like I do, and I do. And I catch myself all the time going, Kim, why do you do that? What right do you have to judge that person, or the way that person drives, or the way she said whatever she said? Why are you, when I stop to look at my own behavior, I'm like, Kim, you need to behave yourself. So over the last year, I've changed. I've punished myself often for my bad behavior, because how can I judge those people, the hater people, and say you're such a shitty person when sometimes I'm a shitty person? Okay, so I had to back up and say, whoa, Kim, before you start judging people, you better judge you first. So, man, I've been trying to clean my shit up. I've contacted old relatives that I hadn't seen. I've apologized to people to their face. I've sent them messages for things that I remember that I did. I'm trying to be more open. I'm trying to look at every person that I come in contact with, to look them straight in their eyes and tell them to have a good day, even if they're a hater.
Have y'all heard about the ripple effect? That all goes with that. Like if you drop a pebble into the water and the ripples out. Same thing with small acts of kindness. Acts of love, kindness, and courage send waves through individuals, communities, and even generations. So I've heard somebody tell me that they heard a story about someone giving 70 cents to a homeless person, and then that person went and started something, and that was a chain reaction, like a ripple effect. That small act of kindness, if I don't have much to give you, but I'll give you what I have, 70 cents, and that helped that person get something and start into motion, some motivation, some inspiration that uplifted their spirit, and both frequencies were raised.
Exactly. We have to, that whole thing of pushing positive out into the world, it's the same thing. Like, if you put love into the world, it's going to keep going. Okay, so I want, and I believe in this to my core, I've seen it work. I want all of y'all to do that tomorrow. Today's over. Do it tomorrow. Find one person and just hold the door. Smile. I tell people all the time, I know it's a stupid phrase, but if you know me, I'm known for that. I'd say, like, somebody helped me. I can't remember where I was, but they really helped me. And I said, I want to thank you so much for coming to work today. I said, I have super high anxiety and you really, really helped me. And I want you to know how much it mattered to me that you came to work today. Her whole face just, and I just made her whole day. And it really was real. It wasn't bullshit. Like, I was really thanking her for what she did. And she was so appreciative of that. Now, I know that when I left the store, I was happy, and I know she was happy. I also know that that probably, the ripple effect. So we had two ripples going. Remember, her happiness made me happier. And so when I went out into the world, the next person I encountered, I again sent that, and her too. So I know the next customer she got, she was like, hey, how can I help you today? Because I had told her what a great job she did. So y'all know that even though it seems stupid to you, every little count is a ripple we need right now. So I need you to be kind. And I need you to,
scientifically, I mean, psychology studies show pay it forward chains multiply massively when you have these little small acts of kindness. On the spiritual side, they say energy never dies, it transforms and echoes outward, just like a ripple. And they gave an example. One smile or supportive word shifts someone's whole day when ripples to others. And that's exactly what you just said. That was the example they gave. When you smile or you gave some support, it shifted someone's whole day and then it ripples along to the other people.
right. Right. And
Um,
it's such a simple thing to do. Like, all of this mess that we're in, and this is my hippie talk to everyone. It's so sad for me to look at how simple things are. And had we been here before, we wouldn't be here. Because if everybody stopped judging everyone and everybody tried to provide love and light forwardly, then there would be no judgment and hatred. There would be compassion and empathy and understanding. If I was confused by something you did, you would be willing to communicate with me, to explain it to me. Okay. If we had started there, then we would be in a better place. So, what do I say to the world? Come to the hippie. Let's do this. Okay. Let's do this. Let's love the world back to where it should be. And it's not hard. Now, what's hard is not being scared. What's hard is not being afraid. Those are the things that are hard, especially for our group of people who are so high anxiety on the regular. Okay, so just know that's the bad part. The good part is everything we can do, the blessings, the grounding, the yoga, the community, the talking together, the taking a walk outside. All of these things are important right now. You're like, the world's on fire. I understand the world's on fire. I very much know the world is on fire. However, I know that if I'm not okay, then how can I help? Okay, I can't help if I'm not at least available. Okay, if I'm so sad that I've just turned away, I'm ignoring everything, and I just crawl in my bed, I'm going to be homeless. And just to let y'all know, right now, they're arresting you if you're homeless. Please don't let yourself get homeless. Not right now. Okay, so positive out.
and some more key angles with the ripple effect. Don't go out and expect to see stuff right away. Most of the time, we never see the results of our actions. So don't go out and say, "Oh, I'm going to do good, and I'm going to hope they say thank you. I hope they do this." Don't go out with that intention. Just go out and spread the love. You may inspire someone you'll never meet years down the line. Every word, every post, every hug, every prayer carries energy into the universe. But that first part is so important. Most of the time, we never see the results of our actions. And that's something you have to keep in mind. But you may inspire somebody years down the line. So just that small act of kindness has effect years down the line. So always keep that in mind when you go out and, like Kim said, try something new tomorrow. Don't go out and try something new and then get upset if it doesn't act the same way like that you
Don't look for a result, though.
right.
That's the whole thing. Remember, your job is not the other person.
You're just being
Your job
guiding light.
is you. Right. Right. Now what they do with it, you could be loving on and giving light to a hater. Okay, well, they're not going to like what you're saying. Okay, so I don't care. Okay, I'm telling you good things because I'm supposed to. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Okay, what have I learned since 2019? Don't do anything with the expectation of returned whatever. Don't give, just give. Give. Give
One
without
historical ripple effect that we've all heard about that ripples to this day. Now, I do know that there might be some deep dive conspiracy theories about this, but remember the story that we've been told about Rosa Parks and her refusal to get up from that seat. I know today they say Rosa Parks wasn't the original lady, but we'll put that aside. The story that we were told in school, Rosa Parks did not get up from that seat. Just that choice alone rippled into civil rights movements worldwide.
And we
Had
still
she
say that name.
Had she not done that, we would have been ripples behind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on a more personal level, a teacher, a mentor, a stranger who spoke kindness to you when you needed it the most, you remember that more than anything that you've been through. When you had a bad day and your teacher noticed it and asked you, did you not feel better for getting that, at least that recognition? Through the queer lens, when the Rainbow Support Group, we used to share coming out stories. After each story, whether it was good or bad, it sent a ripple. One person's courage sparks others to live authentically. And we saw that and we can speak to that. And some of you watching can attest to that as well. That is one way that we started the ripples, just to get us more comfortable with you guys and you more comfortable with us. But then everybody's confidence in the room. I remember everybody's shoulders relaxed. Everybody more had a smile on their face after that segment. We were all family after that. Just a small little ripple of you sharing your story sparked courage in somebody else. Now, keep in mind, like I say, our brain is very easily manufactured by whoever put our brains together to put patterns together very easily. So if we put more good out, we have a more easily um, enabled brain to put a positive pattern in motion. But the same could be said for negative acts. So if you send harmful ripples, gossip, cruelty, rejection, violence, that ripples the same way. And then if you wake up and you think negative, your brain's going to put negative patterns together faster. Our energy multiplies whether we're aware of it or not. So whether you believe that this is happening, it's happening behind the scenes, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
So healing
Right.
those negative ripples that we're sending out, if you heal, like if you notice, like in your journal, oh, I did something negative, and you go back and make up for it, you can send a new positive ripple out. So remember, if you have a new open mind and you realize that what you did was not you the best intention, and then you go back and make up for it, you retract that negative ripple and then you send a more positive, more higher frequency ripple through the universe. um, how to create positive ripples, more basic ways that I've written down, acts of service, like feeding the homeless or sharing resources, uh, people that mow lawns or work construction all day. When I used to work with World Finance, we would go give the construction workers and the lawn people bottles of water just because we know that they're hot and they might need it. Words of encouragement, social media posts, your blessing rituals, your affirmations, even teaching or mentoring shows authenticality, and that sends positive ripples as well. So if you teach someone something new that they didn't know, as long as it's real, don't teach them something that's not right because that sends a negative ripple. If they learn something, that also contributes to our frequency. Um, Queer specific ripples, um, representation, like out in the club, just being visible shows people that they're not alone. So when we had a gay club, every person that went in there, they knew that they were not the only gay person in the state, in that city. They knew that they were not alone. Building chosen family. Sometimes our blood family is not the best for us, but the friends that we found in the LGBT community helps rebuild those healthy ripples across those generations. So that family member that had all that negativity until they met you now has a positive ripple influence.
Or
Remember,
could.
could
Or could.
potentially.
Or could.
And that's the main thing. You don't go expecting that, but they now have that positivity there available to them for them to branch onto. Even, drag queens, artists, musicians, they send cultural waves of positive ripples throughout the universe. So if you're a musician, a drag artist, any kind of like art that you bring to the table with your own genuine creativity also sends positive ripples. I did not know that at the time. I was just doing me, doing something I thought I liked to do. But that also helps other people see the beauty, creativity, inspiration, authenticity. It has a lot of things that you don't even know what's happening behind the scenes that are happening. Um, let's see. That was a lot about ripples.
Yeah, it was a lot about ripples. Now, what I want to put in there is from the spiritual side, because that's all well and good and everything. Um, Mine's simple. And if you know me personally, you've heard me say it before: thou shalt harm none in thy word or thy deed. I mean, if you think of that in everyday motion, if I'm going to go in and yell at somebody at a restaurant, okay, that's being mean. That's being bad. That's harming someone. So in my world, I'm not allowed to do that. Thou shalt harm none in thy word or thy deed. And then the hard part is, the spiritual part that's so hard is, when you walk away, you can't say, you're an asshole. Okay. And they didn't hear it. You're like, well, they didn't hear it. No, but you said
You
it.
thought it,
The
yes.
ripple, the
The universe
intention.
heard you.
Right. It
Even
was there.
thoughts
The
that we have
ripple.
in our head, the universe still hears it.
And they do too. So that vibe went to them, that you're an asshole. He got it, but he didn't get it from your mouth. Okay. And
We've always talked about reading the room. You can always walk into a room and you feel the vibes. It's kind of like that. You thought it, so you sent that vibe out and they felt it.
Right. And I work real hard now. This last year has been wild for me. Like I thought I was a nice person, but I'm pretty judgmental and I can be pretty mean and I have to stop that. In order for me to expect the haters to get better, I have to get better too. So I'm thou shalt harm none in thy word or thy deed. I live by it. I do eye contact with people. I am thankful and blessed for what I have. And that's what I want to teach you guys because it's actually making me be able to handle things. Okay. Mocha and I talk about this paper right here. Y'all couldn't handle this paper right here. Me and Mocha been doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. It's awful. Okay, if we weren't clear-eyed and believe that we're going to make it through this and believe that we have, like Mocha and I literally believe that we have a mission to help people during this time. That's why we're going to all of this effort. That's why we're doing all of this. Okay. She's come over here. We've been planning. We've got other things planned. We're trying to figure out how to get it all on YouTube. We're trying to do it's getting set up. Like we're on the take-up. We're on the runway. Okay. We're almost going to take off. Okay. But our whole mission is that we believe if we didn't think it was going to be okay, we wouldn't be doing this. Okay. I believe it's going to be okay. Now, somebody said, so we're going to get our government back. And I said, no, they've destroyed our government to the point that what it was, we can't go back to that. But remember too, we don't want to go back to that because that didn't take care of everyone. That was set up on racism. That was set up on garbage. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a new government that represents all the people. That's why we're doing this. We believe we need to get everybody into the love and light to carry forward so that we can produce a new government for our people. I'm hopeful and I'm positive in this, even though it seems like a nightmare. Okay, I'll be quiet.
And well, that kind of goes with our last topic. It's the alchemy of pain. And that basically translates to how struggles, heartbreak, suffering can be transformed into strength, wisdom, and purpose. And with what we see that's happening, now that's more important than a lot of this because, well, like what Kim said, what we're going through now is to build a better outcome. Now, historically, you might say alchemy sounds like science. Yeah, historically, that was turning like base metals into gold. But spiritually, alchemy is transformation of the soul through trials. And we're going through a lot of trials right now.
Yeah. Just a couple.
Now, if we like alchemy turning base metals into gold, but if you envision pain as the raw material, growth is the gold.
Right.
So lessons that are hidden in grief, heartbreak, rejection, trauma, all of that pain reveals what truly matters. So all of this pain that we're going through right now is revealing the truth that has been locked away that we haven't seen for decades. Everything that we're going through is going to provide for us a clean slate for us to start fresh if we have the right mindset.
Right. Yes.
The hardest experience often sharpen intuition, compassion, and resilience. And if anything is going to bring us closer together, it's going to have to get bad before it gets better.
And we're at the bad.
We're at the bad.
We're at the bad. Just to let you know, we're at the bad. And it's going to get worse. I need everybody to brace for impact. Get you some extra food. Put it in the back of your closet. Get you some water.
And that's definitely. We always say be observant, but I think more people need to be more observant.
Yeah,
um,
but remember, it's not all their fault. And what we're saying to you guys too is the news has lied to a lot of people. Like right now, there is all kinds of shit going on. And if you turn on the news, you're not going to hear it. Okay, you don't know. Do you know that we bombed 11 people in a little boat because they said they were whatever? Okay, that boat wouldn't have made it to the United States. It was 2,000 miles.
there's two things on that topic. If that was a real, see, because there's two things. One is now they're saying it's AI, and then of course now they're saying it was a drug boat, but we know that wasn't. Why would 11 people be on a drug boat? But
And not only that, why would you be on an uncovered boat with a little tiny gas tank?
exactly. But
And not only that, but you said that
is that if it is AI and he is trying to put that out, then we are in for a massive
yeah,
amount.
but the part we need to not worry about that. We need to worry about the fact that they bombed, they just killed those people without even checking.
Right. There's two issues.
They're
It
trying
could
to
be fake
use
and they're
it.
trying to tell us it's true.
Wait,
Or two, that they did that violence
but
without
they're
trial.
trying to use it as the reason for all of these deportations. They're saying, they're trying to say, see, this is the complication, the AIPA, okay? The thing that he's been doing and how he's been doing all of this shit is because of these international emergency power shit, because we're being invaded. So what he said was, we're being invaded by Venezuelan drug dealers. So they put a big ass ship out there and they bombed a little boat saying it was on its way to America to bring those drugs into America. Shame on them. Excuse me, y'all. That boat wouldn't have made it 2,000 miles over the ocean. And if it was a drug boat, it'd be one of those speedboats. And no, you didn't even check. Normally, the Coast Guard does get drug dealers. They get them off the boat, they arrest them, they pull their drugs, they take pictures of the drugs. Then they say, see, these guys were transporting these drugs. They're out. Okay, cool. That's not what happened. We bombed a boat. We bombed a boat, man, y'all. We killed. The United States killed people trying to
If you believe it was real, that's what I'm saying. You need to be observant.
Well, yeah. If it is real, now let's hope. Now, in my hippiness, I pray that those 11 people did not get killed. I pray.
That's why
I hope it's
talking about being observant, because that was just to push a narrative.
correct.
If it was real, yeah, they didn't have trial, but I personally, now that they have claimed that it's AI, looking back at it, it definitely looks AI. Just to push the narrative. So that's why we have to be observant. They want to push us into fear to push their agenda. But look, they gave us a fake video. We're not going to believe that.
Correct. That's the thing on my paper. The two sides of my paper.
They blew up 11 people. We don't want you to believe that. If it's real, then yes, definitely they killed 11 people. But look at the
either way, right? Either way, if they killed them or not, just like Mocha said, just like my paper. Okay, what did they show us versus what were they trying to do, and why did they do that? So either way, the death of the 11, if it happened, or the AI of the 11, if it didn't happen, was the narrative of criminals are coming to invade America. Okay, no, they weren't. Okay, even if it was AI, they weren't, obviously, because it's not real.
Right.
But that little boat, even if it was real, would not have made it 2,000 miles over the ocean. Okay, and by the way, we're talking like ocean in a little tiny fishing boat. It wouldn't have made it. So they lied. So they either AI lied or they lied. trying to make, I know this shit is crazy, trying to make us think the United States is being invaded by Venezuela, so they have a right to bomb Venezuela.
Right.
No.
And what we need to see is that two wrongs do not make a right. So
no, and we need to stay out of Venezuela. And by the way, if you're the peace president, why the fuck are you going to Venezuela? And what happened with Greenland? And weren't we taking over another country? What the fuck? Stop it.
There's a lot that's going on, and that's why y'all. I hope y'all don't really like my news broadcast, but I hope y'all are at least reading them.
No, they need to, and they're going to more as they get scared. They will. That we just got to keep going, Mocha. And because I know my paper. And remember, I told you I could do 2 more pages like this, and we just did 1. The boat was 1. Mm-hmm. I have pages of the shit. Okay, pages of it. So there is a lot to talk about. There is a lot going on. There is a lot to be aware of. People will be catching up with us. I can promise you, as long as we can keep quiet.
Also, you need to acknowledge when we talk about pain and growth that not all pain has to be made pretty, because it's not going to be. Now, pain is not required to grow either, but validating the rawness before the transition helps you go through that transition. We've talked about journaling. Turn anger or grief to poetry or affirmations. Turn that anger into something else. We've talked about finding strength in community. That goes with pain. If you are going through pain, sharing that experience with someone else will help alleviate some of that pain.
Correct.
Because remember, pain, and it took me a while. I want to say I always knew it, but I guess I really didn't. But families and communities carry pain across generations.
Yep.
This needs to be the cycle where all of that generational barriers break, and we need to be the ones to do that. And I think we were put here to break those bad generational cycles. Collective struggles, they help turn pain into social progress. We did that with pride. Now we're doing that with trans. Now we're doing that with every marginalized community that there ever is. And through that collective struggle, we're going to turn all this pain into progress. It's going to be slow, but it's going to happen.
It is going to happen. I believe in it. I believe in it, and I believe in the power of love. And I think we will get there. We will get there. It will be hard. It's going to be hard. And that's why we're doing this and we're preparing. And we know this one was long. They won't all be this long. They're going to keep going. They're going to get better. I'm going to get a backdrop so you don't have to stare at my kitchen. And maybe my cat will quit being so needy and I won't have to hold him the whole time. And I do want you to know that I'm suffering for you guys because he is like 3,000 degrees. He is so hot. I am sweating, literally sweating. And watch me try to put him down. Watch. He's like, but Bob, you so hot.
Do you have any more? Any other deep dive things that we could do? If any of you guys are watching still, comment. We can talk to you real quick before we do our last little closing. If not, if you're still watching, comment something that you'll see us to see next time.
What did you call the closing in our thing? I love that. You said
closing affirmation.
What?
We'll do a closing affirmation.
No. You said, hang on, let me look for it. It's cool. So hang on. You said it. You said, what? Oh, Bob, don't fall. What did you call it? It was a code for that. There was a code for that. Hang on. What did you call it? Damn it, we're going to have to get you. It wasn't a weather report. A storm warning? No. Never mind. I thought we had it.
I know I'm
don't
going
have.
through all my notes. So I have
Are
so
you?
many notes too.
Look for what that is. That what you just talked about. Not a storm, but when we close the meeting, what do you closed cafe?
Oh,
That's what
that's
it is.
it. Yes, before we close our cafe.
There you go. We're gonna close the cafe. Yeah. See you after the storm. And you were right with the time. It was an hour and 45, like on the dot.
Yeah, and we covered a lot of good topics. I hope you all watch this back and definitely comment. Engagement helps push it out further, but it also helps us just to know that you're paying attention.
Or that you want to hear it, or that you did hear it, or that we've said it. But these are going to get busy. More are going to be, it'll be easier when they're smaller. Um, and we'll just keep going. I have no doubt there is no failure here. I see this will be needed and wanted. And I have a lot to say. This helps me feel better too. I have a lot of reassurance to give people. And remember how much stuff we know politically. Okay. We know things are coming they don't know yet. Okay. So we need to prepare them for what's coming and then be there to support them, because this is going to get worse. There are people that are going to go without food. There are people that are not going to be able to get their medicine. Okay.
And I mean, people are disappearing right now. I could show you 3 videos that I have that have not reached the news of people that have been abducted, wallets still on the ground, everything
Yep.
just lying around the car, and there's
Yep.
no trace of them. I
Right.
also have videos of ice places having massive amounts of blue body bags leaving. Like, it's scary. And I mean, we could upload everything and try to scare you, but we're trying to ease you into it while waking you up at the same time.
Right. Because we're aware. We know. We're on it. We're on it. And we're in touch with the resistance organization. We're going to start working with them.
And if you'd
Mocha and
like to
I.
help us with that, either message us or drop a comment and let us know that you're interested, and we'll bring you a part, or we'll bring you up to speed.
Absolutely. And I know that October 18th is another No Kings protest. I'm not sure how close one is to us. I'll have that information. Remember, we won't be able to post about it. It's going to have to be through one of our videos or an email or a newsletter or something like that. All right, Mocha, you want to turn this off?
All right,
Y'all
yeah.
have a great
We
day.
talked
Oh, we
about
need to do.
We
Yep,
talked
keep
about the
going.
frequency shifts, the storms, the heaviness, and also the treasures and grounding stones that we carry. But remember, the rainbow may fade, but it always comes back. The circle of light is closing for tonight, but our lanterns stay lit. Remember, you are safe, you are strong, you are not alone. Keep showing up, keep shining your light, and trust the universe to do the rest. Until next time, bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, Mocha, that was great.